An aging actor has been taken to hospital after breaking his femur while picking up the phone. Maybe it was finally his big break. It wasn't. The paramedic at the scene told us it was a wrong number. Let's look back on his long, illustrious career. It's all very sad. His family has released a comment. I'm sure we all share the same sentiments in this difficult time. This was Cat News. We're rooting for you. Sleep is for the weak, which is why I've been awake now for 14 days. You're really missing out on life with all that sleep. Just look at what a great time I'm having. I'm not weak. Where was I? Oh yeah. I think I've made a solid case for why sleep is the great con of our age. This was Cat News. Not closing my eyes. It's a travesty. Just look at it. I feel so sorry for it. Those are just some of the comments I received when visiting the zoo this past weekend. Yes, it's no secret that the zoo has been experiencing some issues lately, with patrons pointing and laughing, while the monkeys stoically eat their bananas, enduring the onslaught of insults from their betters. Barry, 54, sports coach, who's just accomplished his third chronic illness. Such is the state of our cherished zoo, which has been a lifeline for our tourism industry. I do have one suggestion that could save the day. We should lock the guests in the zoo, then build a zoo around it. Hang on, I'm getting a call. Yes? This is Cat News. Yes. That's great. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the zoo. We just saved the day. It's finally that time, once again, where we collectively look at the moon, like we all just got done reading the latest young adult romance novel. Scientists say to take safety precautions. I can tell you, I'm already blind. You know, I never had much interest in science, and after today, I still don't. This was Cat News, blocking out science. Have a nice day. Is it really a party if it's only you? More on interesting thoughts later. Yes, we've all been there, sitting 5 centimeters away from the speakers, really getting into the groove, as your brain thinks it's just landed onto a war zone. And it is a war on fun, so be sure to turn it up before the fun police burst through your door, not unlike how your eardrum burst earlier in the night. This was Cat News. I can't hear you. It's an impressive feat of athleticism. He got into yoga as a young man and found that he couldn't stop. It was a way to de-stress, and it looks like it's worked. If tranquility had an image, we were lucky enough to get a comment from this peaceful soul. Wow, where do I sign up? This was Cat News. Friends and people, I'm here yesterday with good news. It turns out we can all read amazing now, as the numbers keep going up. This can be all thankful to the great parents of this nation, doing the important work of reading their mounting bills out loud to their childs, accelerating our skills. I also own my first book now. It nicely fits on my shelf. There was just enough space. This was Cat News, successfully reading from a teleprompter. Layoffs have been in the news recently, which is why I'm doing this show in my basement now. Corporations now have to get lean. In this difficult economic environment, top CEOs are saying they can achieve this by really putting your back into your work, and to stop half-assing it. Really give it to that memo until the paper tears. That's a sign of productivity. Asking the CEO what he's doing for his part, he says he just flung his folder out the window. hitting some poor unsuspecting bystander on the head, who will now be out of work for a month. You have to crack a few heads to make a buck in these tough times. He has my vote of confidence. This was Cat News, thanking our business leaders. It's one small step for man, cat, and one giant step backwards for all of us. I wish I was on that ship. I'm sorry to say, but we're stuck down here in this wasteland. $5 billion into space research. Also, one guy can leave this place and not report back. 20 years for naught. Is anyone actually interested in space? I feel like I'm the only one. Never mind. I'll just look up at the night sky and see him waving back down at me, laughing at my wasted tax dollars. This was Cat News. This is Cat News. We're the only news corporation willing to report on this, but I'm here today to tell you that Grandma's special broth has finally ran out of ingredients. I know. I didn't believe it either. Then I saw my shoe, and let me tell you, it tasted good. That was the Cat News update. Stay tuned, because up next, we're going to be talking to the man with the smoothest hands through the door, as he's been trapped in there for 20 years. His hand keeps slipping on the doorknob. It's times like these where there's an opportunity to take a moment to reflect on the sacredness of life, and also what an amazing movie this instant could be turned into. But also the sad part. Funds are being raised for those affected, and also for the script that I'm writing after this show. What a tragic end to this day. Oh, I could put that in Act 1. This was Cat News, coming to a cinema near you. I'm feeling lucky. That's what I said before I walked into the casino last night. It isn't what I said when I walked out, because I was crying. But unlike me, there's some lucky folks out there, like this lucky man, who's been almost winning for 5 years now. He's going to make a fortune. Then he can replace the fortune he spent on making his new fortune. We'll come back to this story in another 5 years, with an update to see his progress. Something tells me we'll have ourselves a winner. Maybe his luck will rub off on me. This was Cat News, still crying. Animation is truly a great art form. I'd know, because of the many hours of animation that goes into this show. People say they want original movies, that they're tired of franchises, which is why the movie industry is going to make an original biopic movie of my embarrassing life, and turn it into a franchise. It's safe to say, I hate animation. How can I be a failure if I have my own movie? Checkmate. This was Cat News. Don't go and see it. Can you feel that in your bones? That's arthritis. It's no secret that I've been dancing lately. In fact, it's the only way I get through my day. Don't mind the coffee. I spilt it on my way in. It's no secret because I revealed my final move on a dance floor late last night, and the world saw it. 25 people saw it. 25 people who will never dance again. That was my trophy, and I think I deserved it last night. So I made my own. Wow, that's gonna go in the trophy cabinet, with all the other trophies I made. This was Cat News, the rightful winner. The solar eclipse has come and gone. Not that I noticed, which is why today we're giving tips on how you can relive the magic. Now there's many ways, such as repeatedly asking your neighbour if they saw it. Be sure to ask for the 5th time, just to be sure, and if they close the door on your face, don't worry, because you can call them from the comfort of your own home, or someone else's home, or anywhere, as long as you have access to a phone. And if you're feeling a little selfish, you can keep it all to yourself. by staying inside and closing all your curtains to get the same effect, a cosmic event in your own very living room. And now for a demonstration. Now that seems like it was a nifty little trick. It wasn't. The power's gone out. This was Cat News. Lost in the abyss. Creepy mansion just got creepier as I enter my home. Hey, it's just a regular house. And I'm not creepy. You know, people watch this show to be informed, not to watch office politics. Someone at Cat News wrote that headline. You know what's creepy? Following me and writing stories. And those weird dolls I have on the shelves in all 16 rooms. Yes, the house is a mess. I'm a mess. Whoever it was, you're out of line, and you're not invited to the Christmas party. That wasn't happening, but it's definitely not happening now. This was Cat News, not being creepy. Folks, these are hard times. I have no money. My boss has no money. We're all struggling, which is why this discount vacation is such a steal. Yes, you could be looking down on a beautiful tropical island, just taking in the view. There's only one view. Ah, paradise. I can imagine it now. The engines are shutting down. I've lost control. Don't take my word for it. It says it in the brochure. And how about these happy customers? Wow, I've already started packing. This was Cat News. Has anyone seen my sandals? We've all been there. Asked to spell a word we've never heard of, in front of millions of people, watching and judging. At least I have, when I was forced into the spelling bee in my youth. My parents wanted me to be a prodigy. I couldn't spell it. Well, I'm a success now, Mom, Dad. I'm the most watched TV news channel in this place. People are watching me. And I wish they'd go away. Shoo, go away. Shoo, go bother the pigeons. Where was I? Oh yeah, I worked for this, by applying and getting the job the next day. But I still worked for this. I feel better now. This was Cat News. Have a great day. It's Fashion Week, and we're starting it off in style. Just look at my apparel. I'll take the awkward silence as overwhelming approval. Now, you might be asking, Cat News host, where did you get that cool shirt? Well, and thank you for asking. How did you get my number? I made it myself. Stayed up all night on the sewing machine, and I think I did a good job. I'd pat myself on the back, but I don't want to get paint on my hand. I use too much paint. I feel sick. I hope you're having an amazing fashion week. I know I am. This was Cat News, stepping out in style. I'm happy to say we've got some good news today. Yes, the economy has seen better days, but the numbers are in for this month, and it's looking good. We have a shock jump in economic growth. I wonder who that was. It certainly wasn't me. As you can see on the graph that I drew 10 minutes before the show, on the left was when we were all living in squalor and miserable, and on the right is now, where we're all living in slightly less squalor and still miserable. But look at those trinkets soar. Wow. Now, you might be asking, will this actually help the economy? Or is it just numbers on a screen? No real productivity. To which I say, stop spoiling the good news. Do you want to be poor forever? Or do you want to be dubiously wealthy? That's what I thought. This was Cat News. Now if you'll excuse me, I'm going to buy myself a useless trinket.